Hi everybody, my name is Jack Wallen and I'm here to talk to you about something. Hopefully this time it'll work. I'm having some trouble with my camera yet again, and I don't know what it is. It's either, for some reason I think it's overheating, I don't know. Technology, right? Oi to the vey. Okay, so last weekend, last Saturday to be exact, we had the read-through of the first two episodes of Me and My Muse. Yeah. And that's what I want to talk about. I'm not going to actually just talk about this. There's actually a reason why I want to talk about it, other than the fact that I'm super excited about it. So here's the thing. I was really nervous about this, like insanely nervous going into this read through. And here's why. I have, on a number of occasions, sat in read-throughs for scripts that I wrote. I have also, on occasion, performed monologues that I wrote. But never before have I sat in on a read-through playing the main character for two scripts that I wrote with other people around. And yeah, I was a little nervous. And there was the other reason why I was even more nervous was because I knew after the read through that me and the actor playing the role of Blake, the dead wife, were going to film the test footage. It was go time. We had gone past the event horizon and I had to deliver. I had to be able to put together some footage, knowing that I was going to have to color it and edit it, all of that, to show the people involved that I can do this. And I had been falling victim to my own imposter syndrome that was constantly telling me, "Nah, you can't do this. You do not know what you're doing. It's too hard." And yet, I told myself, I'm doing this. I had heard myself say no too many times. The irony being that I had never heard anyone around me who knew me, who would be possibly be involved in this, say no to this project, because everyone was just as excited about it as I was. Everybody saw the value in this project. They knew the possibilities were insane. And they weren't telling me no. I was. And I came out of that weekend reminded of how anytime someone tells me that I can't do something, the first thing I say to myself is, "Oh, I'm going to show you that I can do it." But when I say no to myself, it's a little more of a struggle. I have to spend the time convincing myself that I can do it. And that's what I did. I had spent months ahead of this read-through convincing myself that I could do what I needed to do to get this done. And the primary struggle that I was having was getting the film sections, the film look where it needs to be. And if you've ever worked with film at all, you know how hard it can be to take all of these clips that you've filmed, put them together, and make them not only cohesive, make them tell a cohesive story, but also look cohesive. And all that work I did beforehand paid off. I'll get to that in a minute. So everybody was together, almost all the actors. I didn't have there's one film scene where there are a bunch of other muses, muse, and we didn't have those cast, so everybody just took on one of those roles and read it. But we had myself, the muse, my wife, my agent, my therapist, and the character playing Joan d'Arc, the drag queen. And we had the director, all sitting around the table, and we start reading. And when I came into this read through, my idea was to wear two hats, to be actor and writer. So I can, while I'm speaking the words or hearing the other people speaking their words, I can not only listen and respond to them truthfully as an actor, but I can also listen to them as a writer and know what's working and what's not working. Well, in typical fashion for me, when we sat down and that first line came out of my mouth, all of a sudden that writer hat flew off my head, hit a gust of wind, and vanished in the air. The actor hat, on the other hand, stayed put. And I sat there and I read those two scripts as if someone else wrote them. And I didn't need to take any notes. I was there. I was present. I was in the moment. And that was all I could do. I could not do the other thing because I get so engrossed in being an actor. So the good thing is that I did catch one particular thing that had to be fixed. It was a very minor thing. It wasn't fixed. There was a moment, there was a scene where I needed more interruption and interaction between me and the muse and the agent. So I fixed that. That was no big deal. No big deal at all. Now, and after the fact, of course, the director came up to me and she said, I would like to have a meeting with you so we can talk about the tone of the show and all this other stuff. And she kind of intimated to me that she was also nervous because she'd never worked as a director where the playwright was also involved. And I was like, you do not need to be nervous. We're going to do this. Look, it doesn't matter if you're an artist, a parent, a student, a business person, retired person. It doesn't matter. If there is something that you desire to do that is still within the confines of the law and morals and wouldn't hurt anybody, do it. Stop saying no to yourself. Stop putting up these mental and emotional roadblocks such that you can't do the things you want to do. Because if we all decide to say yes, we will get a whole lot more done. On top of that, we will do a whole lot more that we want to do. Because let me think about it. On a daily basis, you will come up with something that you really want to do. And then you'll come up with 1,000 reasons why you either don't want to or can't do it. I'm telling you to do it. I'm telling you to say yes. The words yes and can will move you forward. The words no and can't will move you backward. And I don't know about you, but as far as I'm concerned, I always want to be moving forward. So I have started to learn how to always say yes to myself. Do not let imposter syndrome tell you that you can't do something that you will obviously love or benefit from, or both. Just do it. Now, after the read-through, everybody left but myself and the woman playing my dead wife, Blake. it was go time. This was the moment where I knew I had to prove to myself that I could do this. And that all of the work I had done prior was worth it and would pay off. Now, the reason why I was nervous is because there was a particular scene that I wanted to pull off that I knew was going to be hard. It wasn't the first scene. So I'd already set up the lighting we filmed these scenes in my house, in mine and my wife's house, because we have a lovely house and I want to be able to show it. So we have a spare bedroom, and I set the first scene up in the spare bedroom. I put all the lighting and everything was ready. So we go up there and we start filming, and for whatever reason, filming this first scene was just like, okay, that was easy. 1 or 2 takes, and then I popped the camera out, or the memory card out. We trundled down to my office, and we watched what we just filmed. And we're like, oh, okay, that looks really good. Okay, let's keep going. The next scene we filmed was the hard one. And I told the lovely lady playing my wife, I said, this is going to be challenging. It might require a few takes to get it right. The complication for this scene is what's called an orbit shot. You've seen them all over the place in television and film. They're all over the place, and they're wonderful. Essentially, an orbit shot is when a camera orbits around an actor or a subject or whatever. It's not easy. Because when you're using a gimbal, you've got, my gimbal and my camera are very heavy. I mean, they're not very, it's about probably between 10 and 12 pounds. But imagine you're holding this 10 or 12 pounds like this for a while. So with this orbit scene, what you have to do while you are moving around the subject in such a way that you're not bouncing, it's called the ninja walk, where you walk head to toe so the camera's not doing this. Not only you're doing that, but you have to use the joystick on the gimbal and keep the camera moving in such a way that it's always locked onto the subject. So as I'm moving, I'm forcing the camera to my right so that the lens is right where it needs to be. And I'm having to move around while looking into the little monitor so I know what the camera's seeing and get around that. Now, the idea was to do 2 rotations, with the second one her spinning the other way around. But I realized very quickly that let's just do 1 because it's hard. So I'm filming her coming down the stairs, and she's charming as hell. And I block it such that she comes down, hits this landing, gives the camera a flirty little look, and then goes past me and stops on a rug, and then I do the orbit shot around her, and then she continues moving on. This is all one shot, all one take, I mean. So she's coming down the stairs, and it took us like 3 or 4 takes to get going, because for whatever reason the camera was doing wonky things. My thumb was getting a little jerky with the joystick and whatever. But then that 5th take comes, and she's coming down, and it's going smooth. She's coming towards me. She gives this cute little look, and then she goes past me, and then I start doing the orbit, and I get around there, and it's looking good, and then I get all the way around her, and then she walks on, and I'm like, did we do it? Did it work? Was it really that easy? So I stopped the video, or I stopped the camera, pull out the memory card, we go into my office, we look at it, and I was like, I did it! I did the orbit shot! I'd only successfully done it 1 other time. And I did it. And then we went on and we filmed some other things and said goodbye, and I copied all of the clips onto my drive, on the machine that I'm going to would do the editing on, and I decided that's it. I'm not going to touch it today. So the next day I get in and I start editing it, and I'm like, okay, I've got to make this look really good. How? I had previously I had figured out the whole color thing so I could get really natural looking skin tones and everything looks nice and natural. But I wanted this was going to be a dream sequence, and it had to have a dreamy look about it. And I start playing around in DaVinci Resolve, and I'm like, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to get it right. And I stumbled onto a couple of effects and a tilt shift and vignette and a specific LUT, which is a lookup table, which gives you the color, the look of it. I plugged those in, and bam, bam, bam. I put some. Originally I was going to do these flashy transitions between each thing, and I thought, no. Let's not push it too far. Let's keep it as real. This is a dream, so let's not do all these swoopy lighting effects and all this. Make it clean and simple. So I just took two quick, just transition such that it almost looks like eye closing and opening between each thing. I rendered it. I watched it. And I was in love. I did it. And it looks, I mean, please forgive me for patting myself on the back, but it just looked phenomenal. And a big part of that is because of the woman playing Blake. She did such a wonderful job. She made my job easy. And it just, I want to show it to everybody. I've showed it to some people, I've actually showed it to a couple of cinematographers, some filmmakers, and other similar people, and they're really impressed with it. And I was like, I can do this. All of a sudden, all of the doubt just faded away. Just faded away. And because all of that doubt faded away, it helped me to say yes to much more. I don't even remember if I mentioned it because I've tried to record this so many times because my camera keeps overheating. Got to figure that one out too. But when I first came up with this idea, and please pardon me if I'm repeating myself. I'm so... when I first came up with this concept for this, one of the coolest things I wanted to do was have camera people on stage filming the action while it's happening in front of a live audience. So this live audience who's coming to see theater, they're also seeing television happen. And what the camera people are filming would be projected on a screen, and they would be getting close-ups, and they would be getting shots of things from the back where the audience wouldn't normally be able to see. For example, there's a moment where Jeremy, that's me, hands the muse a picture of his wife. Well, the audience is not going to be able to see that picture of the wife, so with the camera person, they could get around and do a close-up of the muse holding the picture so the audience could see it. And that just opens up a world of possibility of such amazing things that could happen. But well before this the ball started rolling for this project, I had told myself no, because it was going to be too hard. But then after I saw the footage that we made, yes became the default answer. And I said, if I can do this, I can do that. I did a little research, and I found the technology that I need to make it happen. I did some testing yesterday to see if I could actually send a signal from my camera to a projector, and it works. It works great. And I told myself, yes, you're going to do this. You're not going to sacrifice the vision that's in your head because something in the back of your mind said, that might be hard. If it's hard, it's worth doing. And I'm going to do it. I cannot even begin to tell you how excited I am about this project. If I could right now, I would dedicate every moment of my waking life to this and this alone. Unfortunately, that's not the case. So I'm having to, dedicate time here and there to it. And originally, it was going to happen in the fall of 2025, and I'm going to talk to the theater artistic director of the theater, see if we can bump it up to like the summer of 2025, which would give me plenty of time to get all of the first film, everything filmed, get everything memorized, get everything blocked and all that. And because I want to do this now. I want to do it. If I could right now, I would drop everything else I'm doing and just do this. That's how excited I am. And the only reason that I'm able to get this excited about it is because I stopped telling myself no. I was able to get the footage done, and not just get it done right. Get it done in such a way that it's actually impressive. And because I overcame that hurdle, what I thought was going to be the hardest hurdle, the biggest hurdle, because I overcame that, I realized I can do this. Not only can I do this, I'm going to do this. I'm going to bring this puppy to life in the way that I see it in my head, because I do not want to settle for anything less. But most importantly, I have stopped saying no. Because no is just like walking into a brick wall. Because you can't go forward when you hit a brick wall. But when you say yes to yourself, that brick wall just crumbles. Now, you got some rubble to walk through, but you can get through it. Stop saying no to yourself. Stop assuming you can't do something. Stop being afraid of failure. And instead of being afraid of failure, get excited about success. Because when you say no to yourself, you have no idea the magic and wonder and beauty that you could have created had you said yes. I keep vacillating on whether or not I'm going to show everybody the test footage that I did. And I'm going to quit calling it test footage because it came out so good that it's probably just going to be the footage for the opening of the show. There will be the credits, and then there'll be this. Anyway, please stop saying no to yourself. You deserve yes. You do. So the next time you come up with something that you want to do, or you want to try, or you want to create, just default to yes. Thank you so very much for listening to me ramble on today. It means the world to me that you would spend a little time, because I know time is precious for you, and I do tend to drone on a little bit. But here we are. I actually had filmed my first video for introducing you to one of my books, and for whatever reason it didn't film, so I'm going to have to film it again, and I will probably do that tomorrow or Saturday, because I've sat in front of this camera enough and I have other things I need to do. I have other things I need to say yes to. Anyway, people, thank you so much, and I hope that you and everyone you know and love have a wonderful, wonderful day.